You're listening to Power Talk, Berkeley Electric Cooperative's official broadcast about the cooperative, our communities, and ways to use energy wisely. And now, let's join our hosts for today's episode. Good morning and welcome to Power Talk. This is Micah Ponce, the Communications and Media Specialist here at Berkeley Electric Cooperative, joined as always by Ms. Libby Roig, the Director of Marketing and Communications.
Good morning, Micah. We've got a full house. A great show today.
Yes, we've got lots of information to cover, and like you said, we have some special guests right here in the studio, and we are going to welcome them right now. From the Berkeley County Coroner's Office, Mr. Darnell Hartwell, and Allison Bilton, the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Coroner's Office. Welcome to both of you to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's a couple things that we do when we have new folks here on Power Talk. First of all, we have to present you with your ceremonial Power Talk mug. The only way that you can get it is by coming on the show and getting locked in a room with us for 30 minutes. Hopefully you decide it's worth it. But yes, that is the first thing that we do, is make sure everybody comes away with your nice Power Talk mug. And the other part is we ask you a little bit about yourself and how you ended up in the room today with us. So, Mr. Hartwell, if you could please share with our listeners a little bit about yourself, your personal, professional background, and how you ended up being called to serve at the Coroner's Office.
All right. Again, thank y'all for having me here today. Personally, I'm from Berkeley County, been here all my life, born and raised. I'm married 18 years to Melissa Hartwell. We have 2 sons and 1 daughter. As far as my professional background, I was involved in emergency services in Berkeley County my entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Started out as a volunteer in one of our local fire departments. Also served as a volunteer in the Berkeley County Rescue Squad. Did that for a number of years as well. As far as the Coroner's Office, I was involved with the Coroner's Office again for about 20 years. Started out as a volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Did it free for about 8 years.
Well, thank you very much for your service.
Did it free for about 8 years. And then I became a paid deputy coroner for 8 years. And then I was appointed chief deputy coroner for 4 years. And I ran for office almost 4 years ago and got elected.
Okay.
So this is my first term as being elected as the Berkeley County Coroner.
Well, congratulations and welcome, like you said.
Yeah, and Mr. Hartwell, we were talking before the show that you're no stranger to Berkeley Electric Cooperative. You have a personal connection to the co-op?
That is correct. That is correct. Also, throughout my career with the Coroner's Office, I had the opportunity to work for 3 coroners as well. So done seen a lot, done went through a lot as well with the Coroner's Office and watching it grow. But again, my personal story with Berkeley Electric Co-op, my dad, David Middleton, retired from Berkeley Co-op in the early 2000s. He started with Berkeley Electric Co-op in 1977, only job he ever had. And again, in the early 2000s, he retired. So my whole life was around the co-op. And when I got to adulthood, I'm still here, seeing the great work that y'all do. Me and him often have conversations about his time here at the co-op.
Well, we're glad to have you, and it's always nice to make some connections, with the folks that we have here in the studio. And Miss Allison, you're no stranger to Berkeley County in this area either. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your professional background.
I was born and raised in Berkeley County up in the North End, and I ventured out for a short period of time. I left to go to Columbia to go to USC, go Cox. And I came back, and I've raised my child here, got married, raised my child, and wasn't really looking for work. And Coroner Bill Salisbury gave me a call one day, and he's like, "Would you come work for me?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not really sure. I'm still driving my kid to school every day." And he's like, "We can make it work." So I went to work at the coroner's office, and I have been with the coroner for just over 10 years. My job's transitioned a good bit. I have a bachelor's in sociology, and it fits right in with what I do now. I do community outreach, and I love to find ways to make a difference in our community to help people stay safe and to prevent death from coming any sooner than it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we're so thrilled to have you guys here today because the coroner's office is something most people probably don't think about until they have to. So we're thrilled to be able to have you here and talk about a lot of the hard work that you guys are doing that folks may not know about. Mr. Hartwell, let's start with something that might surprise listeners, that you're the only coroner in the state of South Carolina who has a full-time employee who works in death prevention. Can you tell us more about why that was important to you and the steps that your team's taking?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure. Again, working in the coroner's office, we call it a calling. Me getting a paycheck is just a benefit. You definitely have to have a calling to work in this office. We see a lot of bad things, a lot of awful things that the public not necessarily is aware of that we see. But again, for us to have a community outreach position for Berkeley County, again, as I stated earlier, this is home for me. This is my community. I am a part of this community. Last year, we had 1,951 cases that in Berkeley County, 15 homicides, 41 suicides, 153 accidental deaths, and 1,214 natural deaths. Even though Berkeley County is growing, we still a tight-knit community. We still know a lot of people. So when my phone goes off in the middle of the night or throughout the day, a lot of times I know those people. I know them personally. Either we go to church together, we in the same grocery store trying to fight over the same tomatoes, or in the same doctor's office, or our children may know each other. So again, for me, it's personal, because again, we are growing, but again, we still know a lot of the people here in this community. So for me to sit at my desk and look at 1,951 cases come across my desk and us not be proactive, I just don't. That just can't be. Again, I'm a part of this community. When we see families hurt. We are still human as well. And again, for us not to be proactive, we see a lot of things that we can share. There are certain things that we can't share, but the information that we are able to share, Miss Allison does a great job making sure that the dots get connected, make sure the right people knows as well. Also, for me, I'm elected. My job is to serve the people of Berkeley County, the constituents. And part of my responsibility is public health as well, making sure that our community knows what's going on, be preventative, and making sure that the right people are in the right places at all times.
Well, I mean, you were talking about, the community and the connection. I mean, we were talking before the show, and we all have children, I think, that are, went to high school together, and, first time we've personally met,
Yes, sir.
but I mean, like I said, the connections are there. And yes, Berkeley County is growing. There's absolutely no doubt about that. We know from the traffic that you're just coming up and down the highways and trying to pull in and out of parking lots these days. It's a little bit more difficult than it used to be. So, I mean, managing the influx of new people and taking care of your community is always a challenge.
And the co-op too is on the front lines of that growth. We're having to build all these new lines and set all these new meters. So, but as an organization, from your dad's experience here and as a kid growing up in the co-op family, the challenge of growing so fast, but trying to maintain the heart of who you are and keep your identity of a small, close-knit community or small, close-knit co-op. So, but you guys have been doing a lot of work, in death prevention with overdose prevention, and have a lot of partnerships in that arena. Walk us through some of what the hard work you guys are doing with the Fatality Review Board and some of those outreach efforts.
Thank you. Again, I'll let Ms. Allison kind of talk on that a little bit, but I'm just going to hit the highlights. We do a lot of prevention work. This is what Allison does all day, every day. She definitely has a heart for it. When she started in the coroner's office, we had her assigned to do some other things, and I immediately saw firsthand that she had a calling for the community and the prevention work. And I can't do everything alone. I have to give credit to my county council, my county supervisor. They allow me to create this position to have her in it. And again, the work that she's doing, you can't even put a price tag on it. She's actually saving lives, and that's kind of weird to hear it coming from the coroner's office, but she's actually saving lives. Just received an email about a week ago about a prevention meeting that we had here in Berkeley County and how effective it was, and how other counties throughout the state is looking at these different programs that we're doing and putting it in place in their counties as well. But we do a lot with drug prevention. We do a lot with suicide prevention, with veterans as well. Traffic, we just did a press release yesterday. Moncks Corner City and their town administration is fighting to have 0 fatalities in the town of Moncks Corner. So they brought me in on that to speak about that as well. But again, these are just a few of the things that we're doing. But again, we are busy, constantly out. We are actually at a lot of events that y'all are at too in the community. And again, it's to bring prevention, it's to bring awareness. A lot of people don't realize just in Berkeley County we had 41 suicides last year.
Wow.
When we tell people that, they eyes get big and they said the same thing you just said. Wow. Now they know, now they can do things to prevent that. We work very closely with our school districts, making sure that they have the information that they need as well, making sure that counselors have the information that they need when we are seeing things that's connected to the school district as well. So again, I'm go ahead and let Ms. Allison kind of talk on that a little bit more about what we actually do when we go out in the community and work these preventions as well.
Thanks, Darnell. One of the things that we do is we've started an overdose fatality review board. Our 3-year anniversary will be June. One of our community partners that we've been involved with their prevention board since the beginning of time, it seems like, of the prevention board anyway, the Ernest E. Kennedy Center. We saw a need for an overdose fatality review board and weren't sure how to get started. Our office didn't have any funding for it. They had a grant, and they were able to send us to the National Overdose Fatality Review Conference. So we went. I actually went, gathered a lot of information, and came back and immediately started trying to put together an overdose fatality review board here. I like to call us a team instead of a board. So we have partners come alongside. We meet monthly. We have the Kennedy Center, Wake Up Carolina, Berkeley County Mental Health, our law enforcement partners, Favor Lowcountry, and DJJ. It's amazing how many people come. Our drug court participates, the solicitor's office. We come together once a month and we review an overdose. And what we're looking for are gaps in services. Is there any way that perhaps there could have been a prevention effort that could have changed the outcome?
Yeah.
So, and where would that have taken place? And how could we maybe fill that gap? That's the whole point. We want to be an action team, a work group.
Yeah.
But we review the case with the family's permission. So we do a full next of kin interview. And then we create the timeline and we sit down and we go through and we try to figure out, hey, what may have prevented this overdose. We have put together several things. We've had great recommendations. We have Nalox boxes that have Narcan in them. We call those boxes Nalox boxes. At the rural fire departments throughout the county, so that if you don't have access to come to Moncks Corner to get Narcan, you can get it free out in the rural areas. We have it in other places of high need and high traffic.
And explain for someone who may not know what Narcan is.
Narcan is an overdose reversal agent if the person is using an opioid. And I think a lot of the public thinks, oh, we don't need that. We don't use opioids.
Yeah.
What they don't realize is it should be in everyone's first aid kit. We have seen overdoses that were very accidental. You may have a grandparent or a parent who's having a hip replacement. They may take a pain medication and forgot they've taken it and end up taking a second one, and it can suppress your respiratory system. Narcan can reverse that. We've also know that you could drop a pill on the floor. We have just this past fall seen a instance where Narcan saved a 2-year-old who had accidentally gotten into a bottle of an opioid-like substance, and the baby ended up being on a Narcan drip, but the initial Narcan saved the baby's life to get him to that point. So it's any household could have a situation if you have any type of opioid in it. We also have had a case where we've had teenagers that just go into the medicine cabinet because they're curious and might take something out of it and not realize that if they take more than one thing, it could be a combination issue.
Well, and the dosage too. You know,
Yes.
you got a 80-pound teenager
Right.
taking pills prescribed for a 250-pound person.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are kids who experiment.
Yeah.
They were having fishbowl parties
Oh, boy.
where they would bring some type of pill out of the medicine cabinet. You didn't know if it was a blood pressure pill or an opioid or what.
Yeah.
Throw it in a bowl and everybody pull one out and take one. And people say, my kid would never do that. And your kid may never do that.
Yeah.
But just in case they did or their friend did that may be at your house, it's just great to have Narcan on hand. So
Sure.
we have made it accessible throughout the rural communities. We have become Narcan distributors, so anyone can come to our office anytime that we're open and get free Narcan, as well as the places that we try to have it. We review cases that tell us that Narcan could save lives. And as long as these people have breath, and that's what Narcan does, we call it 1-2 breathe. Whenever it gives you breath, there's hope. And we also have a large panel of lived experienced people on our team. And we see there is recovery and there's hope. So as long as they have hope, they have the opportunity to recover from substance use disorder. So the OFR is what we call our Overdose Fatality Review Board. Has been fantastic for making recommendations. We've created cards with QR codes on the back, and they're connections to resources. So it's connections for people who may be homeless and looking for shelter, connections for clothing, food insecurities, rehabilitation facilities, recovery outreach groups, family assistance. And so Goose Creek police officer at our meeting came up with this idea. And he said, I'd like one of these cards to put in everybody's belongings that we do take to jail. And so that upon release, when they're handed their belongings, they have an information card.
Yeah.
And we want addresses on it within walking distance of the jail where they can find help.
Wow.
As well as the QR code for further out places. But so we've been putting these cards, the Goose Creek PD puts these cards in with everybody's personal belongings, and we do know they're being used. We hear back from the community's resources that they are being used. We've created a partnership with Drug Court, so there are people going through the program who have an infraction and they come to our office. We introduce them to our community partners, to Wake Up Carolina. Where can you find more meetings, more resources? People, just to be real with you, there's been a lot of good stuff coming out of the OFR. There are only 7 counties in the state of South Carolina currently that have OFRs, and we have 2. We're fortunate enough to be a part of 2. So we started the Berkeley County OFR. We helped our neighbors get their OFR started, and we decided our borders don't mean a lot to the people who live here. They
Right.
only mean a lot to the people taking your taxes.
Yeah.
So Berkeley, Dorchester, and Charleston County have formed a Tri-County Overdose Fatality Review Board, and we meet quarterly. So we are making good strides in that too. It's newer, so we have not come as far, but just making the contacts, and networking, and finding out what's available in other counties.
Yeah.
It's been just a godsend for us. The Bridge to Hope app is out of Charleston County. They run an overdose fatality dashboard on an app that connects them to resources. They're going to allow us to connect into their app to run our dashboard, which should come live, we're hoping, the first week of March. And we're super excited about that. We've got results that show we saw a 36% decrease in overdose deaths in 2024 compared to 2023 when we started our OFR. We do see a slight uptick for 2025, but not more than what the population increase would account for.
Yeah.
And we are working with the schools. We're in the Next Steps Learning Center. We're work with adult education. We are just trying to get the word out there. There are resources available, and we do care.
Yeah.
And so we started really hard with the overdose fatality part of our prevention program simply because we were in the middle of an opioid crisis at that time.
Yeah.
We have learned with that how to expand into suicide prevention. We work with the Veterans Suicide Group very closely. We do know that it holds pretty steady that between 30 and 35% of all of our suicides are veterans.
Goodness.
Wow.
And we work very closely with the VA. We have new signage that's going to be posted at all Berkeley County boat landings with the 988 number on it, a message of hope. Those are actually being put up right now. And we're very thankful for the partnership with the VA that's allowed this to happen. They've partnered with Heather McDowell from the county. She's over the county parks and rec, and we've been able to get these because we've seen suicides at the boat landings. That seems to be a pretty high number of veterans, and we're just trying to get these messages of hope out. The plan is to expand it beyond boat landings. That's our first priority right now because it's our highest need area.
Yeah.
You can't put these signs in people's homes necessarily, but we can put them in public places. So we're excited about that initiative. We've held town halls for talking about suicide openly, how to do it with your school kids, because we believe we've seen some suicides, and postvention work is prevention.
Yeah.
We know that if you know someone who has committed suicide, if someone in your family has committed suicide, you're at a higher risk than someone who doesn't. So when you start postvention work and wraparound services with the family and you connect them, grief counseling is a big part of what we do for overdose and suicide. We try to make sure people are engaged and know that there's grief support out there.
Yeah.
And that's no charge. And there are family groups out there. So just tying people into the resources that are already available. And like I said, postvention's prevention, and I believe suicide and overdose.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Hartwell, I really applaud you and your office for the hard work that you're doing. You know, when you have to reach out to the coroner's office because you've had a death in your family, it literally is the worst day, you know, and the fact that you guys are being so proactive to just be part of the community and meet people not on their worst day and, you know, be a friendly face and part of that community is just so wonderful. And the issues that you guys are tackling with opioid use and overdose prevention and suicide prevention, these are such complicated issues, you know, particularly for our veterans. And it takes all of us working together and digging in and just continuing to try to problem solve and figure out, like you said, where are the gaps, you know, what resources are needed, and just to help make our community stronger.
And I mean, like you said, the entire show. I mean, you know, some folks might think it's kind of odd that, you know, an electric company is hosting, you know, the coroner's office on their podcast. But I mean, as we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes or so, I mean, it's part of the community where we live.
Yeah.
You know, Berkeley Electric sort of prides itself on being involved in the community, and I mean, we have connections to all of the county offices. We work with them on, you know, a fairly regular basis in a number of capacities. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's about making our community stronger, and y'all are doing a lot of work towards healing the communities and keeping them, you know, whole. So I mean, yeah, that's definitely something that Berkeley Electric can get behind and support. And, you know, why we'll be glad to have you back to talk about stuff, you know, along these lines at any time.
Well, and our hope is that somebody hears this show and maybe they're in Charleston County, you know, that they realize there are resources available. You know, maybe they've lost somebody to suicide and they can reach out and get the support that they need, or you know, maybe they're considering ending their life and realize there are resources to help them get through this.
The 988 number, we can't encourage people enough to reach out. You don't have to be at the point of taking your life. You could just be having some thought. 988, there are professional counselors ready at the other end of the phone. They will give you resources. They will help walk you through it. You don't have to go through it alone. If you show up at our office, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get somebody on the phone that's a licensed counselor, and we're going to work on making sure you're surrounded and you're safe. We have several programs that we do where we do find people, especially parents, come to our office and they're like, we have this going on and we don't know what to do. So what we do is just make sure we are connecting them to the proper resources. We cannot fix the problems, but we can stand with them in the gaps, and we can help them find the people who can help fix the problems. So,
Definitely.
and the co-op's been a big part of that for us. Our Tri-County Overdose Fatality Review Board didn't have a home in Berkeley County, and we were very pleased when Dana from the co-op reached out to us, and she offered us the conference room so that when Berkeley County is the host for that meeting, we have a home here, and we just appreciate that so much.
Yeah, and we're, like having you on the podcast, we're happy to always loan our facilities. We believe deeply that all of our assets here at the co-op belong to our membership and, are open to all.
Well, I mean, we've talked about how much the Lowcountry is growing, and we all know that we can't get away from traffic and complaining about it. So, I'm sure that is we've mentioned that's probably a big cause of some of the fatalities that we see here in Berkeley County. So, Mr. Hartwell, what are some of the vehicle related work that y'all are doing?
Okay. We are doing a lot with that as well. I kind of was making some notes while y'all was talking. I just kind of want to hit on the suicide stuff.
Yeah.
Before we come out and talk a lot in these community events, Allison and I, mostly Allison, go to a lot of trainings to be able to speak the right language.
Right.
And we definitely want to encourage people about the 988 number. If any thoughts or anything that's going on, please reach out to that number. Again, help is on the way. Believe me, if we don't say it just right, we get phone calls from the experts in these fields.
Right.
Definitely.
But again, just talking on veterans, about a month ago, we had 2 unclaimed veterans that died in Berkeley County that did not have any family. And we were able to work with our local Legion and a motorcycle rally group, veterans, and we were able to have those remains buried at the National Cemetery in Columbia.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So again, we do a lot with our veterans and making sure.
Was that the motorcycle ride?
Yes,
yeah.
sir. We make sure that we take care of them as well. And one of the things that we tries to do, and then I'll talk about the traffics. One of the things that we tries to do is, we all know when the coroner's office comes, it's not a good day for somebody.
Right.
And we understand that, and we accept that. That's why I have 5 trained deputy coroners that goes out and respond to the calls in Berkeley County. But we also want people to know that we are with them. We walking alongside them. We are not here to judge. I'm a firm believer that where much is given, much is required. Again, we meet people where they are, and we walk alongside them as long as they allow us to do that. So again, we tries to get that dark cloud from over the coroner's office and let people know that we are out here to help. Again, I'm a part of this community. This is my community as well. One of the things that we do a lot is we, again, part of my job is my job is elected, but I work with legislation. We see a lot of, and again, I might get in trouble for saying this, but I can deal with it. We deal with facts. We deal with facts, and we see a lot of deaths that's related to people under the influence of alcohol and drugs. We have a bill going on in the State House now where they're talking about having Uber people to drop off alcohol to your door, so you don't even have to go purchase it now. You can just have somebody deliver it to you. And some people look at the pros, some people look at the cons, but again, in my line of work, I don't see any good coming from it. We already have a problem with it now,
right?
And now you're making it more even accessible.
Easier. Yeah.
So again, I'm speaking with our legislation about that and just voicing my concerns. Again, I have factual numbers to back up what I'm saying as well with that. So that kind of goes into the car accidents, the traffic that we're seeing. Yes, we are seeing traffic-related accidents in Berkeley County. We spoke about that a little bit on yesterday as well. I believe in 2023 we had 54. I don't have the numbers in front of me for 24 and 25, but it did decrease some. And me and Ms. Allison were just talking about that yesterday, and we do believe that our law enforcement partners are doing a great job with that. As y'all know, the Sheriff's Office in the Montgomery Police Department has motorcycle units now.
Right.
They're constantly out, especially along Highway 52 in front
Oh,
of
yeah.
our buildings. We see them out there. So our law enforcement partners are doing a great job with that. They also are getting state and federal funding to help combat that as well. Several of our law enforcement units, departments have specialized traffic units. That's all they do is look for impaired driving, things of that nature as well. So again, we do want to give credit to our law enforcement partners in doing that. As far as the coroner's office, I have 2 certified technicians in my office that's car seat certified. So anybody can stop by the office between 8 and 4, I believe it is, and get their car seat examined, making sure that it's properly installed, making sure that it's not expired, things of that nature as well. We do have, I call it real-time information. We can have somebody get in a traffic accident. Within an hour, I can tell you if there was the presence of alcohol or drugs are in their systems. Again, that will not tell me if it was a lethal level. It would just tell me if their presence was there.
Right.
And then we can share that information with our law enforcement partners, our prevention partners within an hour, letting them know, hey, this part of Berkeley County, we're seeing an increase in traffic accidents, but we are also seeing an increase of drugs in these people's systems as well. So again, if there's if there's drug issues in that area, law enforcement don't have to wait 3 to 4 months before we can get that information. They can know that within an hour and start putting people out there as well. Again, we attend community out events. Again, just making people aware of what we're seeing. Again, we can't enforce laws, but we can just make sure that they have what they need to get that done as well.
Well, folks, we've covered a lot of information today. If you need to do any recap, you can go to Berkeley County Government's website to the coroner's page under Community Resources to get some more information. But unfortunately, we are out of time for this edition of Power Talk. This is the official broadcast of your electric cooperative. You can catch up on past episodes on streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio. And as always, get a behind-the-scenes look on Berkeley Electric's YouTube channel. So until next time, this is Power Talk, signing off.